If you're a female runner over the age of 45, you've been running easy, you've been staying in zone 2, you've been patient for weeks, maybe even months, and yet nothing's changing. Your watch says your heart rate is low, but your pace isn't improving. You're doing everything right, so what's actually going wrong? Today, I'm investigating the mistakes that quietly kill your low heart rate progress. And I've got 7 suspects. Each one looks innocent on paper, but trust me, they are behind 99% of failed low heart rate training plans, especially for female runners over 45. Right, let's look at the first suspect. You know that feeling when you just can't stop checking your watch? You're supposed to be running easy, yet every 10 seconds you're looking down at your device like it's about to confess something. That's the first mistake, overthinking it. Here's what happens. Every time you adjust your pace by looking at your watch, even if it's only by 1 or 2 seconds to stay in the right zone, your breathing pattern changes, your stride shortens, your brain and your body stop working together. Physiologically, you're actually making the run harder, even though your heart rate might look perfect. The fix? Learn to run by feel for a few minutes at a time. Set an alert on your watch to warn you if you drift too high, but otherwise, just run. The goal is rhythm, not reaction. All right, suspect number 2, and this is a big one, the zone 2 imposter. You think you're running easy, but you're not even close because your heart rate zones, well, they're actually wrong. Many of these devices use an age-based formula like 220 minus your age, and you're already then training on guesswork. And this is especially important for female runners because those formulas become even less accurate as we age. I've seen 50-year-old runners with higher max heart rates than some 30-year-olds. So when your zones are wrong, your easy run might actually be a tempo effort, which means you're not then building endurance, you're just constantly adding fatigue. And the fix for this is to find your true threshold heart rate, that point where your body starts producing more lactate than it can clear. That number defines your zones far more accurately. And if you don't know yours, we've built a free threshold calculator to do the maths for you. You'll find it in the link below. Now, let's talk about fueling, or rather, not fueling. So many female runners head out first thing in the morning, no breakfast, maybe even a sip of coffee, thinking that they're teaching their bodies to burn fat. The idea sounds smart, but here's what actually happens. Your cortisol spikes, your blood sugar drops, and your effort feels higher for the same pace. That means your heart rate drifts up faster and your so-called easy run becomes anything but. A small pre-run snack, a banana, half a slice of toast, a sip of electrolytes and fruit juice can stabilize everything. You'll feel more energy. You'll stay in the right zone and you'll stop fighting your physiology. You're not proving discipline by underfueling. You're just making it harder for your body to do the job. Now, speaking of coffee, number 4. You have your morning coffee and you head out the door and suddenly your heart rate is 6 to 10 beats higher than yesterday. And that's because caffeine stimulates your nervous system. It raises your baseline heart rate before you've even started. So if you're training strictly to heart rate zones, that coffee can trick you into thinking that you're working harder than you actually are. Now, I'm not saying that you have to quit coffee. Let's not be that dramatic, but just be aware of what it's doing to your data. And if you're testing or perhaps doing a key zone 2 session, try doing it without caffeine once or twice and just notice that difference. Now, here's a big one, and it's a mistake that gets even experienced runners. Testing too soon. You start your low heart rate block and in 2 weeks, you're frustrated. Your pace hasn't improved, but aerobic adaptation doesn't happen that fast. We're talking about real changes inside your body. More mitochondria, better capillary density, improved fat utilization. All of that takes time. We're looking at 8 to 10 weeks minimum, sometimes longer, especially for female runners. So when you test too soon, you're not just being impatient, you're interrupting the process. Think of it like baking bread. You keep opening the oven door to check if it's ready, and all you're doing is letting the heat out. And so the fix here is patience. Measure every 8 to 10 weeks, not every weekend. Progress is happening. It's just far more gradual than you expect. And to be fair, that makes it more sustainable. All right, the next one, and I see this all the time. Runners who start strong, track everything, log every run, and then 3 weeks later, nothing. No data, no pattern, no feedback. And that's a problem. because low heart rate training is about trends over time. You're looking for pace at the same heart rate to improve over time. If you don't track it consistently, you can't see that progress. And it feels like nothing's working, even when it is. You don't need fancy software, just keep it simple. Same routes, similar conditions. Track your average pace and heart rates. It's your own evidence that your training is working. And finally, the last suspect, the female runner who trains only at low heart rates. Now, don't get me wrong, zone 2 is the foundation. It builds your aerobic base. It helps recovery, improves fat metabolism. But if that's all you ever do, your body adapts to being slow. To improve, you need contrast. The occasional threshold session, short strides, controlled intervals. That small amount of intensity raises your ceiling, keeps your speed alive. Think of it like sharpening a knife after you've built the blade. The key is balance. About 80% easy, 20% a little bit harder. So there it is. Low heart rate training isn't magic, it's method. And once you clean up these small details, that's when the results finally start to show. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to get faster running just 3 days a week. I know, it sounds too good to be true, right? It's exactly what most female runners over 45 actually need. I'll see you there.